What is going on, Colts Nation? Xavier Cotto here, and today I'm going to be shedding a little light on why the Week 12 matchup versus the Titans went so far south for our Colts. Um, and when I looked at the film, it really came down to three things for me. One was just our inability to contain the big plays from the Titans. The Titans' offense isn't a methodical, just move the ball, move the ball, move the ball. 5 yards here, 6 yards here, 8 yards here. It's either 8 yards, then 15, then 25, or it's none, none, none. That's just how the Titans' offense works. It's either boom or bust, they say. And we just could not contain their big plays, and that's the Vrabel offense. It's a really, really well designed power run scheme. It sets up matchups that are favorable for his offense. It's, like I said, really well schemed up. Vrabel is a great offensive mind. Um, but the second thing I can say that I saw from this game is the value of Autry and Buckner is sky high. They are two people we desperately need on this defensive line. Justin Houston, to me, is our weak link at this point. He does great things, and he's a good pass rusher, but he's very limited. He's nowhere near as strong as he used to be. He's nowhere near as fast as he used to be. And having Autry out there and Buckner really help him because it's going to take double teams off him. This game they were allowed to really just focus him pass rush wise, and we really couldn't do anything. Like we generated no pressure, unlike our Week 10 matchup. Whenever Buckner had like 4 or 5 quarterback hits, Autry had a sack. Like there was just pressure coming left and right in that Week 10 matchup, and then this one it just was non-existent. And the third thing I saw that really killed this game for us were penalties. There were just countless penalties, stupid penalties, blown coverages. TJ Carey blew a coverage. Rocky Sin blowing coverage, getting the penalty. Rocky Sin will take a penalty before he allows his coverage to get blown. TJ Carey just he'll just let somebody run down the field on 4th and 4 for a 37-yard gain. That was just a really poor performance. There's no other way to put it. There's no other way to sugarcoat it. That was a bad performance. We were outcoached. We were outmanned because of injuries. It was just bad. It was just bad overall. Now the thing I can say for a fact, to me, when both these teams are healthy, the Colts have a higher ceiling. Our defense is much better. Our offense can run efficiently, especially when Costanzo's playing. Now, however, whenever Green comes in or Clark comes in, you see the result. Now, I'm going to show you a few plays after I show you these Week 10 plays. From whenever LaRaven Clark came in, it was just a disaster. It was terrible. But without further ado, let's get into this video here. First play I'm going to show you is going to be Danico Autry. He's going to come off this edge and just do a great job of stuffing this run. Keep in mind, this first play I'm going to show you here is 2nd and 1. The next play I'm going to show you is another play Autry makes, and it's going to be 3rd and 1. So the plays are right after each other in the game, and he just completely shuts down this drive. He does an excellent job here of whenever his block leaves, he recognizes who's coming to block him, this guy coming across the formation. He absolutely blows him up and then makes his tackle in the backfield to create a 3rd and 1 situation. Let's see it. Yeah, just an excellent play there. That's just a grown man play. If you're a defensive end and you just lower your head and run through a fullback and make a tackle in the backfield on a 2nd and 1, I got a lot of respect for you. That's just being better. That's being aggressive. That's being physical. And that's just wanting it more. And that's something Danico Autry does. He is a physical presence. He wants it more than the guy in front of him. And that's something I've always admired about his game. He's just tenacious. He's not afraid to put his helmet in there and make a play. And that's something he did on this rep. So on this next play, we're going to see them try to target Danico Autry again. On this play, they're going to release him just like they did last play. and they're going to run play action. So he's going to fake this handoff to this fullback that's going to dive. Danico Autry is going to have to make a decision here. He's going to come off the ball and he's going to say, do I hit this fullback that's going for the dive, or do I go for Tannehill? Now keep in mind, the play before this, they brought somebody to block him. And he blows them up and makes the tackle. So in his head, whenever he comes off and makes the decision who he's going to take, he realizes, why would they leave me unblocked whenever it's 3rd and 1 and they're going for a short yardage play? He realizes, okay, this is going to be a boot, because he's seen it earlier in the game as well. This is what the Titans offense does: play action boot, play action 5-yard out, or play action 69-yard touchdown to AJ Brown. It's what they do. Ryan Tannehill is not a guy that drops back and will just sling the ball around the field. That's not what Ryan Tannehill does. He is really dependent upon this run game working if they're going to have any kind of chance. If he's going to have any kind of chance of throwing this ball, the run game has to be alive. And right here, Danico Autry just does an excellent job of being able to sniff out what they're going to do and making the play on a 3rd and 1. Let's see it. Comes off the ball, recognizes immediately. He knows better. And that's something I like about Danico. He's a smart guy. He knows they're not just going to hand this ball off in front of him. They know he makes that tackle any day of the week. They just know better. That's all I can really say about that play. They are well aware. He's looking at Tannehill's hand. He sees the ball's not in it and just goes straight for him after the play action. That's just an excellent job from him. So this next play is just going to be Bobby Okereke doing what he does. And he just does a great job in coverage here. We all know what DeForest Buckner does. We know his impact. I'm not going to throw his plays in here from this game because he had a huge impact. We already know any game DeForest Buckner is playing in a Colts uniform, he is going to have a great impact. It doesn't matter who he plays against. It doesn't matter the matchup. He's going to find a way to produce. And it was no short on this Week 10 matchup. He did a great job. Like I said, he had countless hurries on Ryan Tannehill. He did a great job this game. But here, we're going to see a 3rd and 9. This is the 3rd quarter. They're trying to get something to going. It's looking bad for them. I think we have the lead at this point. And they're going to try to pick on Bobby Okereke here. We're going to have this strong side. We're in our Tampa 2. So he's going to drop. He's going to drop. Okereke's going to drop. He's going to drop. He's going to drop. And then 2 deep safeties. So it's our Tampa 2 defense. And Okereke, he pretty much in this scheme, he's manned up right here. He's playing the seam. Anyone going down the seam, he's got it. And he's going to keep his eyes on this tight end the entire time. Tannehill's going to do the same thing. His tight end's going to come up here, try to run a curl, try to get the outside of his body, boxing him out. And Okereke does a great job of getting in his hip pocket and then smacking this ball down. Let's see it. Yeah, gets right in there. Excellent job. Excellent job on a 3rd and 9 to completely stall a drive out again and just make a big play. This is 3rd and 9. They're going right at you. What do? You respond. That's an excellent job from Okereke there. So this last play I got for you in this Week 10 matchup versus the Colts, and then we'll move on to the Week 12 plays where things went wrong for the Colts. On this play here, you're just going to see Ryan Tannehill get startled. All game, DeForest Buckner had literally hit him 4 or 5 times. Like, he had been milliseconds away from having a 3 or 4 sack day. But that's how it goes in the NFL. You're a step late. You still get the hit. You still pressure the quarterback, but you just don't get the sack. And that's fine. I'm a kind of a guy that if I'm going to rate a defensive lineman, a pass rusher, I'm going to rate them based on pressures. If a guy has 50 to 70 pressures, he's a pretty good player. He's a pretty good pass rusher. That's just how it works. He could have 5 sacks, but if he's got 70 pressures, he's doing a damn good job. That's just how it works. But on this play, you're just going to see him come off the ball, put a fantastic bull rush onto 75, and drive him right into Tannehill's lap. Keep in mind, this is 4th down. So what happens when Tannehill has his guard right in his face on 4th down? He lets the ball go early and just let it sail right out of bounds, completely stopping any chance of a comeback. and sealing the game. Let's see it. Boom, gets off there, and he just lets it go. He gets startled, sees the pass rush coming. It's just inaccurate. And that's something that's just – and that's not Tannehill's game, too. Keep in mind, Tannehill's not a guy that's going to take the ball back here into the pocket and be completely poised, go through his reads, find who he's supposed to hit. He's going to get startled back there, especially against a Colts team whenever they have their healthy defensive line. He's not going to be able to just sit back there. It's not how it works. Especially when you got Justin Houston, DeForest Buckner coming right at you. You're going to have to make a business decision here. You're going to get hit, or you're going to hang in the pocket an extra second, take a hit, and throw the ball. He already done that a few times this game, and he paid the price for it. So now we're going to move on to where the Colts were messing up against the Titans. And a few of the times it was a matchup issue, because I'm going to be honest with you, Vrabel is a genius with setting up plays that give his offense an advantage over the defense. And right here was one of them. This is just really well designed. He sees we're in zone, has this guy sitting right here, notices he don't have a man directly over him, so he's going to call this play. He's going to have his tight end right here in the slot, receiver right here. What's going to happen is this tight end's going to come down, he's going to block this linebacker. This receiver right here is going to come block this corner, and then this guy is going to run out here and block our outside guy. So whenever Tannehill drops back, he's going to dump it off to Henry, and they're going to have a really well-designed catch and run for Henry here. And the reason it works so well is because these guys all have advantages based on how they're blocking the guy. He's already going to have his edge, so this is going to be easy block for him. He's going to have his outside edge, so it's going to be an easy block for him. And then 13 coming in, pulling and hitting him as a surprise is going to, give an advantage yet again. So this is just a really well-designed play. But there was one issue I had with it. This is a pretty blatant hold, like right there. He grabs his shoulder. He just kind of yanks him down. That wasn't a good play. That just was not a good football move. Kenny Moore did a good job of fighting back to the inside, and this guy just holds his shoulder, and the ref doesn't call anything. And that's sometimes how it goes in the NFL, but like I said, that was a really well-designed play initially, and, if the receiver would have actually threw a real block, I wouldn't be saying this right now. But still yet, that's a great design play. We need to look out for that if we play them again week 1 of the playoffs. So on this play, I'm going to show you an example of what I was talking about with our inability to limit their big plays. When you play the Titans, you have to keep A.J. Brown in check. He will wreck your defense. The guy is a bull in a china shop. He's just huge. He's 225, 230 pounds, big 6-foot guy, physical receiver. He's what Zach Pascal for our Colts could turn into. That's who we hope he turns into. But A.J. Brown is a fantastic route runner. He's got speed to go deep. And like I said, he is incredibly physical. So he'll go over the middle, catch a ball, and then make something happen after the catch. But here we're going to see him just get loose on a slant route. We have a guy over the middle, over the top, so it shouldn't even matter. Rocky Sin's he gets beat really badly here, but he's not really leaning heavy to his inside because he knows there's a guy over here that's going to come down and make a play if he does catch this slant route. Well, what happens on this play is that Khari Willis does not do that. He just takes a horrible pursuit angle. A.J. Brown just runs right by him as a result. Let's see it. There, gets beat to his inside. And Khari Willis, instead of, taking off towards the sideline, trying to make a play that way, he breaks directly, and A.J. Brown just goes right around him and takes it to the crib. Now, to be fair, Rocky Sin played horrible defense right here. I understand that. This is man coverage. He should have played better defense. But if you got a guy deep over the middle and here comes A.J. Brown on a slant, you can't take a pursuit angle like that and expect not to hear somebody call you out on it, because that was absolutely awful. There's no excuse for that. That was just a really bad angle. And that's the real reason this was a touchdown. Rocky Sin's defense was terrible, like I said, but you can't play. You can't be the middle. You can't be the guy over top in the middle and then make a play like that. So now we're getting into the second quarter. This is where the Titans really did all of their damage. We kept up with them early into the second quarter, 14-14. We did a really good job, but then Costanzo goes down. And first drive that Costanzo goes down, Raven Clark gets put in, and he does an absolutely horrible job the first two plays he's in. We actually had, Phillip Rivers after this drive was just shaken because immediately he felt pressure coming from Raven Clark's side, and the rest of the game he just didn't look comfortable in the pocket. He was always looking left. He wasn't comfortable with his blind side. He was just getting rid of the ball early, even when he didn't even have to, because Raven Clark was in this game. But this first play here would have been a huge gain if it had not been for Raven Clark getting blown up. Let's see it. Now here, if Raven Clark does a good job of reaching him and forcing him to fight down the line, then this play is going to open up right in this area. Let's see it. There it is. I mean, the Red Sea. If Raven Clark did not get blown up and he gets a little bit of movement to the left, Wilkins is gone. I mean, he is going maybe even the distance right here because this safety flows down incorrectly. He's in the wrong spot, and Jordan Wilkins would have had a huge gain if it had not been for Raven Clark playing poorly on this play. So this next play that Raven's in, so you just saw him get blown up on the run. That would have been a huge run. There's a big lane. He just gets blown up on pass protection. This guy just takes off the line, puts his hands into Raven Clark, throws him out of the way, and he gets straight to Rivers, and Rivers has to panic and throw this ball away. Let's see it. Boom, throws him out of the way, and Rivers just has to get rid of it, just to make sure he doesn't get injured, because that could have been a huge hit on him. So this next play is another example of our inability to contain big plays. The biggest play we had before week 12 against our defense was a 25-yard gain. This game they had multiple plays above 25 yards, especially this one that went for 31. And to be fair, this was a really well-designed play, really well executed by their offensive line. But you can tell, not having Danico Autry to set this edge, not having DeForest Buckner down here to avoid a chop block and then make a play really hurt us. Stallworth is nowhere near agile enough to get off the ball, put his hands on a guy, and make sure he doesn't get chopped backside. That's something that Grover Stewart's really good at, and that's something that DeForest Buckner's really good at. And on this play, you're just going to see exactly what I'm talking about. Stallworth is going to get chopped. He's going to try to get up and make a play, but he's not fast enough. He's not agile enough to do that. And they're going to make Darius Leonard choose. They're going to bring this fullback through here, and they're going to say, where's he going? Is he going to go to the outside or is he going to go inside? And so once Darius Leonard chooses outside, Henry cuts it straight up and gets vertical for 31 yards. Let's see it. Right here. So that fullback coming through here, he sees that hole, and immediately he thinks, is this going to the outside or the inside? Well, he chooses outside. He relies on his defense. He trusts in his defense to make a play here, but he doesn't know that Stallworth had already been cut. Stallworth is going to try to get up and make a play, but he's just not quite fast enough to do it. Tries to dive and make it. Henry goes right by him. And then he gets vertical. He makes a couple miss and gets 31 yards. So this play right here at the 6:25 mark in the second quarter may be the dagger in this game for the Colts. This is third down, I believe. We're already down big. We need to stop here. We need to stop the bleeding. They're close to the goal line. We need to stop the bleeding and hold them to a field goal and then come back out and get a good drive going. But instead of that happening, Rocky Sin gets a holding call, defensive holding call, gives them the first down, and then they come out and score the next play. But what was really gut-wrenching about this play was the fact that our defensive end, Wilkerson, comes off this edge, gets chipped, runs through the chip and this tackle, and gets the sack. And then they still get the holding call, the defensive holding call. This was just a huge dagger. This is a big penalty. We had, multiple penalties this game. We had multiple blown coverages. It was just a rough game. It was a really rough game on our secondary, especially Rockison and TJ Carey. Both of them guys really struggled today. And I hope they bounce back. But here, like I said, we'll see it. He'll come off the edge right here, make a great play, get the sack. But Rockison down here at the bottom of your screen is the real issue. Because if you watch him here, puts his hands on, just grabs this guy, and they get the flag call. And that you're going to get that every time. That's blatant. He makes a good move here, beats Rockison to his inside, and he just grabs a hold of him immediately. Like I said, does it really matter, though? Because we get to him before he even makes his break. Would have Tannehill even got this ball off? I don't think so. But that doesn't matter because you still can't do this. If he hadn't have done this, we would have got the sack and Rockison would have been saved by his defensive line. But that just wasn't the case, and then they get the penalty and they go and score the next play. So this last play I got to show you is really just insult on top of injury. We're already down 28-14, I believe. And, you saw the fashion in which they scored their last touchdown. Holding call, defensive holding into the 1 yard line, getting a touchdown. It was gut wrenching, especially since we had the sack on that play, and then they still get that call. But here, they're already up so much, they're going for the jugular. Vrabel's like, I'm not giving the Colts a chance to win this game. I'm not giving them a chance. We've seen them be down 28-14 to the Packers, come back and win. We've seen them, be down at halftime, or we've seen them down 21 to the Bengals when Joe Burrow was playing. The Colts have been in some pretty tight spots this year, and Vrabel just was not having it. So on 4th and 4 at the 38-yard line, he's going to go for it. Now on this play, you're just going to see TJ Carey absolutely blow his coverage. Now a lot of people want to see TJ Carey play, and in my opinion, he's not much better than Rockison. If you go watch this game, Rockison does a great job of whenever he's in that Tampa 2 zone coverage, and he's able to see the quarterback in front of him. He's able to see where the ball is. He's able to see where his man is. But like TJ Carey, TJ Carey just gets blown off the ball here in zone coverage. He doesn't. It's like he didn't know that he had this deep half, and he just lets Corey Davis run right by him for a huge gain. Let's see it. Here's TJ Carey. He drops back. He gets juked there to the outside, back to the inside. So that was a really good move by Corey Davis, and it froze him in his tracks. But it just took him an extra second to take off running for some reason. Like he didn't realize that he had been beaten that bad. He hustles down here to tackle him at the 1, but still yet 4th and 4. That's just really a play you can't afford to give up as a corner, especially since everyone else was pretty much accounted for on this play. Pretty well. That's just a backbreaker. Like I said, insult to injury. That's all that play was. It was just a rough one. We didn't play it in unison. We just couldn't contain their big plays, and it really, really showed this Sunday. But yeah, that's all the plays I got for you guys. I just wanted to make this video to show you, or to give you my thoughts, show you how I thought this game went. Not having Autry, Buckner, or Okereke really killed this defense. You cannot run with the personnel we had on that field Sunday. We could not run our scheme. We could not run our style of football defensively. It just wasn't possible. It wasn't attainable with the pass rush we had, the disruption we had up front on the defensive line. Autry and Buckner are a must-need on that defensive line. We could maybe be without Autry and have Tyquan Lewis in a couple plays, but Danico Autry, you saw the plays I showed you. That guy's a physical presence, man. He is strong. He does not mess around on that defensive line. We need to cut down on the penalties. That has to stop. Rockison needs to do something. He needs to figure out a way not to hold. He needs to quit getting beat. Whenever he's in man coverage and he doesn't see the football or the quarterback, it's just like he looks scared almost. And whenever he sees somebody make a move, instead of trying to slow down with him and speed back up, he just kind of, it's like he freezes up and just grabs them instead. You know, I just don't know on him, man. I don't know if he's our guy. I do not know. I like Rocky Sin. I like his physicality. I like what he does on the edge at the cornerback position. He'll come up, he'll make a tackle. I love that. I love that about him, but that's a big red flag. You know, if he can't play man coverage, you know, we have to get a different guy. That's just how it is. But yeah, that's all I have about these two teams. Like I said, when the Colts are healthy, even if the Titans are healthy, I think the Colts have a much higher ceiling. We've showed it this year. We've looked a lot better than them in the majority of our games. And it's just unfortunate that, like I said, we were just unhealthy this game. Hopefully we see them week 1 of the playoffs so we can get our bragging rights back. But yeah, if you're still watching, I appreciate it. You know, drop a like, drop a subscribe if you like the content. But until next time, guys, peace.